Can you go from a D to an A in just 30 days? Or could you go from an A to an A star? I think that a lot of students can actually make big advancements in their physics in a very short amount of time, provided they do the right kind of work. And in this video, I'm going to go through my step-by-step guide about how all of you can prepare as thorough as you can for your real exams coming up in 2026. Now, the first thing you need is to know what's going to be coming up in your exam, and therefore you need to look at the specification. Now, the way I'd approach that would be going to my website, which is alevelphysicsonline.com, and then along the top you can just simply choose the exam board that you're studying, and you'll see here I've got a link to the full specification which has been written by the exam board, and this is what your exams are going to be based on. Now, there are two things that you need to do with this document. Number one, you need to save a digital copy, and number two, I feel that you should print a lot of it out. Not the whole thing, just the subject content. So you can easily find within the document the pages that you need, and I would advise printing this out in A4 double-sided, but you just need to have the subject content. When you do that, you're going to get a massive document like this, and then I would suggest just putting a couple of hole punches into it, and then having a folder available ready to put this kind of thing into. And what you need is one folder. These cost about £1.50 from somewhere like Tesco's or a big supermarket. These don't cost much money, and if you buy a set of file dividers as well, this is going to keep all of your work in the right place, and that's going to save you a huge amount of time as you're doing other revision further down the line. So the first thing you need to have in this folder here is going to be the full course specification. And this is kind of a bit of admin, but it's worth doing now, and once you've done it once, you've got it there for the next few months, and of course you can do similar things in your other subjects as well. Now, the specification is going to be the big guide that's going to really help you structure your revision. If it's in the specification, you need to be familiar with it and you need to know about it. And also, that means when you come to exam questions in the future and you're not sure why they asked that, often you can trace its origin back to the specification and the statement that has them there. Now, the next thing you need to do, once you've got that folder sorted, is to get another folder with a load of ring dividers for each of your exams. And this might be paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3. Now, the next thing, I keep saying the next thing, don't I, quite a lot. There's lots of next things, because you do this and you do the next thing. The next thing is to go to my website, and you can find on my website, I've got a past paper finder. So this is alevelphysicsonline.com/past-papers. And at the very bottom of the page, if you scroll all the way down, you'll see not only the data and formula booklets that you need to have a copy of, because that's something you should be using every time you do a past paper, but we also have a document here that's got the grade boundaries for your exam board. So for example, if you're doing AQA, you can download this document, and then I would suggest printing it out single-sided A4, but only the pages you need. So we can see here what I've got is all of the grade boundaries for each paper by year. So for example, here we've got A-level paper 1, and we can see as the years go on, the marks you needed out of 85 to get an A star, an A, a B and so on. And I think if you have this page here, again, just hole punch it and put it into the front of your folder. This folder here is going to be for my paper 1s. You can then clearly see the things that are going to be inside the folder, and I think that all of you should be doing every single one of these past papers. There is no excuse not to have done the 2019 or the 2017 or the 2024 full past paper before you sit the real exam coming up this summer. And also that means as you do the paper, you can write in the mark that you got, you can tick it off, and that means that you've made sure that there's this reminder of all the things that you have done and haven't done. Okay, and of course you can do the same for paper 2, for paper 3, and all the kind of optional topics. And I've got all of these guides for every single exam board, so including OCRB and EduCAS as well, for any students in England. After you've done that, again, going back to my website, on this past paper finder, it's really quick and simple to find past papers. And so let's say we looked at OCRA, we looked at A-level, we looked at paper 1. You'll find all of the paper 1s can easily be downloaded from this page. And I would suggest that what you do is you download the question paper, and then you print this out double-sided 2 up. And that means you're going to get something that comes out looking a bit like this. Now, for most students, this is going to be absolutely fine as you're working through past papers, and it's going to save you money and mean that you don't need to use too much printing and too much paper. And so once you've printed it out, again, 2 things that you should do with this. Number 1, you just need to staple the top corner, and that means it keeps everything together as you're working through the past paper. And that's going to stop you kind of losing bits of paper and so on in the future. And also, if you can, just hole punch it, and then you can put it into your folder. So this paper here is from 2017. So I'm going to put that in the first part of my folder. And then what I can do is I can just label at the top which year this is relevant to. So this one is 2017. I can then have my 2018 paper in the folder, 2019, and you might not be able to download the 2025 paper at the moment, but this is what's often going to be used in schools for your mock exams. And you can see there's plenty of space just with these dividers here. And so again, you just want to maybe spend a day of it, and this is very much stage 1, is just getting on top of your admin, printing things out, putting things in folders, and you could probably spend a whole day doing this. But that day is going to save you many, many hours of time in the future, because you don't have to do any more printing. You've done it once and it's all there. Now, I would say with this, when it comes to printing these out, you only need to print out the past paper that you're going to be writing on. If you want to look at the mark scheme, I think it's absolutely fine just to look at that on the screen. And so here, if you've got access, well, if you're watching the video, then you can access the mark scheme. And that means you don't need to print the whole thing out. Also, what I have here is I have the examiner report. So once a student has done the exam, or once thousands of students have done the real exam, there's a report written about these, and then the examiner report can also be found on my website. And again, you don't need to print this out, but I think it's worth looking through this when you actually come to revising, actually marking your paper, and then adding extra notes in from the examiner's report. So basically what you need is you need 3 folders, one of them for paper 1, one for paper 2, and one of them for paper 3. And within each one, you need to go back to 2017 and print out double-sided 2 up every single one of the past papers, because that's going to be the thing that's going to be the cornerstone of all of your revision. And I must jump in here just to say that I do have a load of masterclasses which I've got coming up over the coming months. These are aimed at both AQA and OCR exam boards. And what I've got on a Sunday is a full work through of past papers. This is going to be paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3. I'm going to be going through the 2022, then the 2023 and then the 2024 papers, all looking at the kind of common mistakes that students make, some of the misconceptions, what the examiner's reports say, and my exam technique as I model the way to actually approach these. So if you'd like to find out more, simply head over to A-Level Physics Online, have a look at my classes page, and then you can book onto one of these masterclasses. And it'd be great to see you there live and in person, so you can actually ask me questions as we're going through these sessions. So that was very much stage 1. Stage 1 was all about getting your admin sorted, printing things out, putting them in folders. But if you do that at the start, if you do it now, you've got that to refer to over the coming months. Stage 2 is really just starting to analyse the specification. Now, in its simplest format, this just means that you need to sit down and reread the full specification. This is going to hopefully remind you of all of the things that you've done in class, but you can also use it to identify the things that you're not sure about. Now, there might be a statement that's in that specification that's been written for a teacher that you don't understand. And if there are things that you don't understand now, you need to find out what those things mean. And that could just be highlighting that particular sentence or that part of the course, and then going to see your teacher and just asking what it means. A lot of the time, you might have already carried out that work, but you didn't realise you did it. Other times, there might be things that you realise there's a gap in your knowledge, and that's where you've got plenty of time still to go back and relearn this from scratch. You've got your textbook, you might have revision guides, there are videos that I've produced that cover the entire course for A-Level Physics, so you can basically teach yourself any of that physics when you need to. The other thing, and this is something that a lot of students struggle with, is just remembering some of the facts. What are the derivations? What are the definitions? And again, sometimes people find it a bit challenging to work out which things they need to remember. And this is where, if you go to the actual specification, what you can do is you can do a search within that document. So I've got the OCR specification here, and it can be really quick to actually search through the document if you want to find certain skills that you need to know about. Say, for example, we wanted to know about which derivations we need to know about. If I just start typing in the word derive or derivation, it comes up with things like you need to know, if you're doing OCR, about how to derive the equation for kinetic energy, for potential energy, for power is equal to force times velocity. And also actually sometimes it's useful to see in the specification the things that you don't need to know about. So AQA students need to know about the derivation of the equation PV is a third nmc squared, but OCR students don't. And I think this is where knowing about the specification inside out is super, super important. So the specification, basically read through the whole thing, tick off the things that you're happy with, highlight the things that you don't know yet. And if you've got any queries within the document, this is where you need to go to somebody like your teacher to ask for that one-to-one advice about what that actually means. And then, of course, the main thing that I think is going to help you structure revision is just to start doing past papers. And I would urge you to do a past paper under exam conditions in one go without any extra support. So you basically do it like you're going to be doing it in the real exam. You've got to train under the same kind of conditions. So use the same pen, use the same protractor, use the same ruler, pencil and calculator. So you're not just using your phone, use the calculator you're going to use in your real exam. Now for this, I would say write in black pen like you would in the real exam. But if there are things that you then find you maybe want to add more notes into your past papers after you've marked them, you can switch to a different colour. A blue works quite well. Whereas if you're marking your own work, I do quite like a pink. And these ones here, these Uniball eye pens, they're lovely actually. They just write really well and you get a lovely pink colour, so it's not as harsh as that horrible red colour. But basically, by the time you finish doing a past paper, you'll have written all of your answers in black. You'll have added corrections in blue after you've marked in pink. And that means you've got something that you then don't throw away, but you put back into your folder. So once you've done the past paper, I know there's this kind of temptation to just put it in the bin, forget about it, but you need to use your past paper to guide the next stage of revision. And this is where sometimes having a different coloured piece of paper can be really useful. So for example, you've completed the 2017 paper. All you need then is a piece of coloured paper that you put in front of it, and on this piece of paper you can write down some of the things that you learned. Maybe you didn't read the question well, maybe you ran out of time for the multiple choice questions, maybe you just left some answers blank because you didn't know how to answer those longer 6-mark questions. I would say on the front of this big colourful piece of paper, write down just a few bullet points for some of the mistakes that you made. Maybe if there's certain things that you didn't know, you can highlight it here, and then you can then spend a bit of time revising those particular concepts before you start the next past paper. And then you do the same again. You do the past paper, you mark it, you write in your corrections, you maybe look at the examiner's report to look at the common mistakes that other students have made, and then get a coloured piece of paper, put it in the front of the paper, and write down things maybe to do with the exam technique that you could improve for next time. Maybe about just reading the question thoroughly or slowing it down so that you're not rushing through your answers. Write down the things that you need to know about the physics. Maybe there's a concept that you just didn't understand, and then you can go back to the specification and then realise that actually that wasn't a specification, but you hadn't put enough emphasis on your revision on that area. Write it down in the front of this piece of paper, and then you're just going to repeat it for every single one of these. And the more you do this, the more time you spend reflecting on the exams that you've already done, the greater your learning is going to be when you actually do those past papers. And of course, those past papers are not the only source of questions. There are also things like eyes at physics. There are questions I've written, for example, in my daily workout books. PMT have got questions by topic. There's loads of questions out there that you can have a go at in addition to the past papers. But the past papers are a real good chance for you to see the structure, the language that your exam board are going to be using. So that's it. I reckon if you did those things and you start doing them now, not putting it off till next week or 2 weeks' time, so that's getting your folders sorted, learning the specification off by heart, and then starting a past paper with a lot of time spent really analysing it and writing in the mistakes and things that you could do better. Those are the things that are going to take you from a D to a C, or a C to a B, or an A to an A star. Whatever you're aiming for, there's no reason why you can't get the top grade. Your mock exams, although that told you how you did in the past, that doesn't necessarily tell you how you're going to do in the real final exams. So you've got everything to play for. Like I said during the video, I do have some masterclasses that I do run nearer to the exam time, and I've also got alevelphysicsonline.com where I've got videos and resources that cover the entire course. So if there's anything you're not sure about, if you want to look at work solutions to exam paper questions, if you want to look at videos where I explain every single question in some of the recent exams, you can find all of that over at alevelphysicsonline.com. And I hope all of you do well as you're revising for your real exams.